I'd like to call to order the June 23rd, 2015 of the Code Enforcement Board. Please all rise for the invocation and pledge. The invocation will be given by Keith Carrington, and the pledge will be given by Mike Hopper.
Heavenly Father, as we gather this evening, we ask that you look upon this chamber and all those gathered here. Grant us the compassion, the wisdom, and the courage to do what is right for the city and its residents. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If there's any cell phones or anything, please have them on a silent or vibrate, please. The roll call, please.
Member Osborne.
Here.
Member Hopper.
Here.
Chairman Lowry.
Here.
Vice Chairman Carrington.
Here.
Member Kelly.
Here.
Member Blinder is absent excused, and Member Odom.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like to swear in the officers and witnesses who are all here to speak on a case this evening. Okay, is there anyone else out there, which I don't see, except the young lady over here, that might have something to say that that's not pertaining to a case this evening? Okay. Let's see. Could we have the consent agenda, please?
Mr. Chairman and board members, I'm Doug Gaines, Assistant Director of Support Services and Chief Code Officer. This is going to be a pretty quick meeting. We have two for dismissed or in compliance. That's 15-060 and 15-068. Continued till July, we have 15-057, 15-065, 15-066, 15-067, and 15-069.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that at this time we accept the consent agenda as presented by the city.
Second. Okay, we have a motion on the floor to accept the consent agenda by Keith Carrington to accept, and second by Owen Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, since we have the one case that's presented to us today, but we're going to need a special motion in order to hear this case for the reduction of a fine.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes?
I'd like to move that we hear case number 15-003 for rehearing and possible reduction of fine.
Second.
It's 033, isn't it?
I believe that's what I said.
I thought you said 003.
15 is
Yeah, if I did, it should be 15-033.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor made by Keith Carrington to hear for reduction of fine for case number 15-033 and seconded by Owen Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, case number 15-033. Officer, well, Carmen Delgado, but
Bob Seegers, Code
There
Enforcement
you go.
Officer, City of Ocoee, for Officer Diaz. Reference case number 15-033. Location of the violation is 292 Savinol Street. Violations cited were 95-3 and also 115-3. It was for a fence in poor condition in the back of a property. It was heard at the March 24th Code Enforcement Board hearing. They were found in violation as cited and given until April 3rd to comply or be fined $150 per day per violation. On April 6th, there was an affidavit of non-compliance. Shortly after, the fine was imposed. On June 5th, There's an affidavit of compliance, so it's approximately 61 days, I believe. And the total due is $18,300 by the fine, and the cost to the city is $703.37. And the property is in compliance.
Okay, we have someone here to, any questions from the board? Okay. Okay, but we do have someone here to speak on this case. Matthew Kruger? Yes, sir. Okay. Please come up to the mic here and state your name and your current address and your relation to this case, please.
Okay, my name is Matthew Kruger. My address is 3869 108th Avenue North in Clearwater, Florida. I am the Vice President of Meridian Asset Services, who was managing the property for our client, who is the owner of the property, Celine Finance.
Okay.
So our client, Celine Finance, foreclosed on November 12th of 2014.
All right.
Was that the date of sale or just the final judgment?
Actually, that was the date of sale. The certificate of title was issued on November 12th, 2014. On November 13th, the next day, we hired Shelley Freeman of a local real estate agent and they managed the property for us. Obviously, there are eyes and ears on the ground. She went to the property same day on November 13th, took photos, which I brought along with me. I have all date stamp photos. And she took photos of the property, and her job is to basically diagnose the property and relay the information to us on what needs to be fixed, lawn being taken care of, if there's a pool, any initial, what we call initial services. So she sent the pictures to us through our portal. It's an REO platform that we use. We manage properties all over the country. She sent the photos to us. We requested bids to repair the fence, to do all of the initial services, lawn care, and get the property in what we would consider compliance. Took a couple weeks to get the bids in and to get approval from our client to do some of the repairs. On December 16th, again, I have photos, the fence was repaired to what we thought was an appropriate standard. We got rid of the bad fence that was there. There was like a bunch of fence that was leaned up against a wall. So we trashed all that out, removed it, fixed the fence to what we thought would be in compliance, on a national standard. In other words, every community has their own, violation standards, but we got it into compliance.
What was that date again, please?
That was December 16th. Again, I have photos as well if you'd like to see those. So we then listed the property, all the while maintaining the property, taking care of the lawn, and on or about the middle of April, we went under contract. One of the things that the attorneys do before we actually sell the property is they pull a final lien search. And about June, I have it here, I think it was May 29th or June 1st, when they pulled the final title search, they found the lien. I believe the lien was actually recorded on May 13th. So a couple weeks later, we pulled title. That's how we found out about, and we never knew about it. One of the things that we instruct our agents to do is to put their sign in the window. We always have a sign in the yard if it's allowed, and we have them put a sign with contact information that if there's any problems or issues with the property, please contact us. Again, our agent is managing the property for us, so we're in constant contact. They do weekly inspections, once a week. It's required of our agents. So she told me when I called her, I said, how did we get a code violation lien? What happened? And she said, I've never heard about it. We don't know where the notice was sent. Again, I have photos of the property with her sign her phone number, her email address in the window. And again, we never knew about it until our attorney pulled the final lien search, and that date was, it was on, well, I'm sorry, I apologize. Looking for the date here. June 9th. June 9th was the date that our attorney pulled the violation, and it shows that it has a violation and it has a recorded lien for $18,300. And then obviously we did everything to, that we could further, I guess. The Carmen Diaz was an inspector that ended up going back to the property, and once we found out about it, and it was June 5th that our contractor, Martin Schaefer, spoke with Carmen Diaz, and she was satisfied with the repair work that was done, so it was in compliance. And that was on June 5th. And I apologize, the title search was updated on June 4th. On June 4th. And then our contractor was immediately sent to the property. The next day, Martin Schaefer with Prime Maintenance Solutions spoke with Carmen Diaz, and the property was in compliance.
So Carmen actually went out on February 16th? And
Correct.
that was when and saw what was it about the fencing that was not corrected? What was the problem?
I don't know, we still don't know. I have photos, the total charge from the Martin Schaefer, our maintenance man, his charge to fix the fence was $16.25. So we don't know what the problem was, but I can show here, if you want to see the photos, they're all date stamped.
Was it a lock or something like that?
I reviewed the case file, and I did not see any exhibits.
So you don't really, because they're saying they fixed the fence on December 16th.
Yes.
And 2 months later, there's still, Carmen saw something on it that she felt that cost $16 to get fixed.
We ultimately, when we found out about it on June 4th, we fixed it, and it was $16.25.
And was that the
It-
violation?
I think it was like a couple boards that needed to be nailed.
Did you say, though, that you never got notice of the violation at all,
Never.
period? You just happened to,
Well, when we went under contract.
yeah, when you went under contract,
Our attorney pulled, they do like an updated lien search. So our attorney, before we can sell the property, they have to update, obviously to make sure there aren't any liens or any issues. The title can't be insured unless they pull an updated title commitment.
Yes, sir.
When they pulled that title commitment, that's when we found, and that was on June 4th.
And what was the window, what was with the windows? Because that was cited as well on February.
I don't know, it may have been.
Did you fix the windows after February? Did
we-
you do
our-
something to the windows?
Our agent went to the property to get anything in compliance. Her name's Shelley Freeman. So I don't think, there wasn't a cost. We don't have an invoice for the windows. I don't know, what the exact issue was with the windows?
Well, the verbiage is, the windows in the back of the property are open and accessible to vandalism.
Okay, so she probably closed the windows, when she found out, but there was no charge, so we never got an invoice for that. Obviously, she just went and closed the windows. But,
Do we have the pictures that were presented to the board when we heard this case? Are they in the files which would show the fence? Because she wouldn't have brought it to us, and we wouldn't have voted on it if we hadn't seen it, and it says fence is down, and the usual violations are from neighbor complaints, so.
I'm thinking with you, and I did check the case file for any exhibits and found none.
Officer Segrist, do you know if the property was posted with the violations?
Let's see. Documents were sent, regular and certified on March 5th. There's no affidavit of posting. There is a return on April 30th.
I'm sorry, do we know where the notice was sent to? Do we know?
the clerk has that. I'm thinking,
Each time that it was signed for, it was sent to, well, it was signed by someone at 2927, or it was signed by someone at the Orange Avenue. Two
I don't-
times it was signed by someone at the Orange Avenue office.
What is the Orange Avenue?
That is the address as of March 4th of this year that the property appraiser has. They've got the mailing address, the owner is SMROF2 2012 One Trust. Mailing address on file at the property appraisers was care of Quintillion Eros, Prieto, Wood, Boyer, PA.
Okay,
So that's the address all the notices were.
I got you.
so you may have
So-
acquired the property in November,
And
however,
they were-
the
and those
property
notices
appraiser
were
didn't
signed
update
for.
until
Sign is accepted.
way after that.
Well, so what happens is, unfortunately, in foreclosure situations, there are a lot of parties involved. So SRMOF Trust it's a fund. It's Saline Residential Mortgage Opportunity Fund. It's not an actual person, it's an entity. The care of is Quintero, Prietos, and Wood is a foreclosure attorney. So it's a huge firm, statewide firm, that forecloses on properties as representing the trust. Unfortunately, and again, I don't work at one of the foreclosure attorneys. They're not the best. They probably did sign for the notice, never got to us. It probably got lost in the black hole of some attorney's office.
And the Florida statutes, for, just so you know, require the city to provide the notice at the address that the tax collector or the property appraiser has.
Sure.
So that's what they did.
I understand.
And I understand how foreclosure firms can certainly.
Yeah, the attorney's clearly, it's probably sitting on somebody's desk under a, cup of coffee.
I do find,
Bob,
though,
were you unable to see where Carmen posted it at the property? I've never known her not to post.
It was
Any
signed-
of you not to post it at the property.
It was signed for.
I
They only
s-
post if it's not signed for.
Actually physically posted, I would say
The green
no.
parts of the notice, if they're signed for it, they don't.
As long as they sign for it, they don't have to post it.
So you
That's for-
have somebody wanting to buy this property, you're waiting to sell
Yeah.
this property, everything's jam up, jelly tight. What
Yes.
are you asking us for?
So what we are asking for, and I have, if you guys want to see the pictures of what the fence looked like when we took over the property and what we did on December
I've seen
16th to
it
fix it.
before, so I mean,
Okay.
they may want to, but I
Yeah,
just
if,
want to know what
do
you're
you
asking.
guys want to pass these around? or-
You can put them in the viewer?
Put them on the viewer.
Put them in the viewer, put them in the viewer.
No, that's fine. These are correct dates?
Yes. These are. So this is the day after the foreclosure,
And you're talking November of 14?
November 13th. Yes. And so this is the day after the foreclosure. You can see the fence is in disrepair. Obviously, the fence is
On the ground.
just tore up. You can see it's on the ground, leaning against, there's more fence on the ground. It was in pretty rough shape. You can see the lawn was a mess. So when we,
And you paid $16 to have that fixed?
no. So
Well,
this was
I think-
thousands of
I
dollars.
want to know
So
that guy.
This was part of our initial services, and that like I said, our job is to try to get the property into compliance as much as we know how.
oh, where's the date stamp on that picture?
So this picture does not have a date stamp. However, I have other pictures that are on December 16th showing the lawn cut and showing the fence taken care of. So, but this is the picture showing what he did. This is the Martin Schaefer, the guy from Prime Maintenance Solutions. This is, again, if you can see, I'm sorry. You can see the lawn mowed. There's the fence taken care of. There's another picture, December 16th, the lawn mowed. And again, the fence, as good as we could without replacing it. There's another photo of the fence. And then you can see another photo here. You can see that the slats are, separate. You have the gaps in the slats, but, and that's also, you can see the date stamp there, 12/16. And then here's another photo, and this is on December 16th. And again, one of the things, we don't know nationwide, we manage properties nationwide. Every situation is different with code violations, and for us, that was in compliance. The fence isn't fallen down, understandably that some of the slats, definitely, the whole fence probably needs to be replaced.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
I was just wondering, you say you manage properties
Yes.
nationwide.
Yes, ma'am.
So you wouldn't have a process in place to check or to follow up to make sure that it's in compliance?
Well, there is, our agents, there's a task, and it's called Verified Code Violation Task. It's in our platform. The agent has access to this, and we have access to it. Their job is to go in and verify if there are any issues or code violations with the property. They check yes or no. If they check yes, it says, do we need repair bids to fix it? In this instance, the fence was taken care of, was trashed out, the lawn was mowed, all the initial services were done as well as we could take care of the property. And then she answered the question, no, are there any code violations? So to our knowledge, of course, in Tampa, Florida, there were no code violations. Our agent, as you can see, this is in the window. Please call Shelley Freeman of Vista Resources. Her number was there. Also,
No, on April 6th.
this photo was taken on April 16th. This is not time-stamped, but this, even though it was taken on April 16th, this would have been in the window from day one. It's a requirement of the agents. This photo isn't time-stamped here or date-stamped, but you can see her sign is also in the
Okay.
window next to the sign that says, please call Shelley Freeman.
But
Okay.
that's neither
And-
here nor there.
Well, I believe we have the information.
Board members, just one note. Please keep in mind, and I fully trust Mr. Kruger, but we cannot accept photos or date stamps from anybody that's not a city representative. So it'd have to be a code officer or a police officer.
Okay.
Not that we don't trust him, but please keep that in mind. We do have an affidavit of compliance from Officer Diaz. It was dated June 5th, 2015.
What was the total amount of the fine, Mr. Gaines?
18,000.
$18,300.
Mr. Gaines, do we have an accounting of what the 70337 constitutes? I'd be curious to know what the city actually repaired.
I got it.
Overhead.
You got that one? Yeah, you can see that. There's more.
Okay, thank you.
So, anyway, with that, Mr. Hopper brought up a good thing. So what would you like for this board to do for you?
So what we're asking for is basically a reduction in the fine. Again, I know that the foreclosure attorney was noticed, but we were never noticed. Our agent wasn't noticed. There was no notice left on the door. Quite often, some of the communities, not all of them, but some of the communities leave notices on the door. Please call, this number.
Okay.
You're in violation of, whatever statute, so or ordinance. Unfortunately, as you can see, we did our best to take care of the property the day we got it. Shelley Freeman,
Okay.
I think did a good job, and we're just asking for a reduction in the fine.
All right. Any other questions from the board?
This will be a recommendation board.
Yes. Now, yeah, because this, actually what that means is that we will make a recommendation to the city. The city will have the final say, whichever Officer Secrets will get with you after this is done to
Okay.
explain that to you.
Okay.
So this is just a recommendation to them.
Understood.
Okay? So what is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes?
Case number 15-033, I make a motion to reduce the fine to the city's cost of $703.37.
And recommend to the commission.
Yeah, recommend to the commission that we reduce the cost.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor made by Mike Hopper to reduce the fine from 18,000.
Yeah.
To reduce the fine in case number 15-033 to a city cost of $703.37, seconded by Elizabeth Osborne. Any discussion?
Reason I said that is because they worked hard at this, had some things about where it was going, but we got somebody wanting to move into that house, and that's important to every citizen around them.
Okay, so any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Roll call, please.
Member Osborne,
Aye.
Member Hopper,
Aye.
Chairman Lowry,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Carrington,
No.
Member Kelly,
No.
Member Odom.
Aye.
4-2, with 2 noes.
So we, okay. Excuse me? Yeah, so anyway, that right now will be going against to the commission for their approval. Okay. Remember, this is just a recommendation to them. Understand? Okay. Okay, that's the end of the agenda, other business and everything. So very short case. So it's time for comments.
I'd just like to welcome Ms. Odom again, and congratulations to Chairman Lowry and Vice Chairman Carrington.
Okay. Bridget? Okay. Our clerk? Valerie? Okay. Mr. Kelly?
Bob, thanks for a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Real quick meeting here. This was just super tonight.
Yeah, we drug it out for a while.
Mr. Carrington?
Welcome to the board. Nice to have you with us.
Thanks.
And thanks for the short meeting. Something tells me we're going to pay for it next month.
I think so.
Our illustrious attorney?
No comments other than welcome to the board.
Okay. Mr. Hopper?
Welcome to the board. Good job for your first.
Call for the
first
it's only
outing.
one case. Okay. Elizabeth?
No comments. Welcome.
And,
Bienvenidos.
well, absolutely, you know, it's ditto on the whole thing, and you are permanent, you know that. Okay? Yeah, so,
Mr. Chairman, did you want to make a comment about the paperwork?
absolutely.
Okay.
Also want to bring up the comment on the paperwork that we have in front of us given to us every month for our review. If you could please, at the end of the meeting, please leave them here on the desk and they will be disposed of. That way we can just leave them here and walk away from them. Unless you wish to take them home and put them, file them or whatever, but.
Do they
other than that,
recycle
please
them?
Leave them, huh?
Are they being recycled? That's why I take it home.
They should be
Well, yes.
recycled. However, if you
Yes.
make notes on it, it's public record, and the staff will need to keep it for their file.
So if you could please leave them on the desk and we can walk out with it. And so do we have anything else?
Yes, they will be recycled. All of our white paper is recycled here.
Unless you want to take it home, Lisa.
Okay.
No.
But then again, I hope that I do as good as Bob has done for all these years. And so you couldn't ask for a better volunteer than Bob. Well, I can't tell you how many years he's been doing this, and other board as well. I just hope that I could do half as good as he is. So if there's an award out there for someone, I hope that he deserves it and hope he gets one.
That's right.
But other than that, Code Enforcement Board is adjourned.